Here's to another one. So, I would say I'm not really prepared for this one either, just like I wasn't for last one. For last week. Pretty sure at some point recently there was one where I was very much prepared. It was organized, and I was happy with it to a degree. I think that was 3 episodes ago, and the last 2 just... I'm not impressed with that performance. I do have some notes. One note in 4 capitals. One note is in 4 capitals. It says use the new subtitles tool for the whole episodes. Apparently there's a new tool on DaVinci Resolve that allows you to generate subtitles automatically. And oops. My ND filter was exposed. I unexposed it. So, yeah, if you're someone who uses social media, then you've come across these videos where there's subtitles, but they're not like subtitles. There's just a transcript of the text on the screen. And at first I was just confused because no one likes to read. Subtitles are literally a barrier that stops most people from watching international movies. People don't like subtitles, but they're used a lot nowadays. And one thing I don't like about subtitles, so I'm French. When I go back to France and I go to see a movie in the cinema, for example, there'll be subtitles if I go watch it in the original version. In France, they dub movies. And as a kid, I thought that was a good thing, but now it's just unwatchable with the dubs. So I watched the original one, but it's subtitles in French. And it's impossible not to read the subtitles. That's also something I'm sure most people have experienced. You watch something with subtitles, and you find yourself reading the subtitles. And I've even gone to see films in English subtitled because it was like it was a screening, I don't know, for kids maybe or something, and so there were subtitles. I remember that recently actually. I don't know why. Oh, I guess screening for deaf people maybe. Anyways, I went to see a film with a friend, not recently, but one of the last films I went to see in the cinema, and there were subtitles, and that was annoying because I couldn't stop from reading the subtitles. It's like your brain is just compelled to read them. And so I suppose they're used nowadays in those short contents, very dynamic videos, to add a layer of stimulus, something to make it more stimulating for the viewer, because people need more and more and more stimulation, always more and more. So I thought this thing here being the polar opposite of what I'm talking about, the viral, fast-paced, short, to the point, energetic videos that are the staple of social media nowadays. This is the opposite, but I'll add subtitles just to try something new. And that's right. Okay, that's an interesting, well, not necessarily interesting. That's a weird note. Not weird. How would I say? Well, first of all, I'll say that. So last week I went out with my colleagues, work friends. Felt had a realization of some sort, right? Felt like I knew I wasn't doing the right thing. And since then, I haven't bought a chocolate bar and haven't consumed crazy amounts of sugar. I've consumed a lot yesterday. Ate lunch with my family and there were desserts. But I don't feel the need, or I don't feel a strong need, or I'm not strongly compelled to go and buy sugar. It's just been a week, but I already feel like the desire, or how do you can't say compilation, but yeah, it's not desire, right? It's more like the craving. Yes, the craving is not there. Now when I think, oh, I'd like some chocolate, there isn't a sense of, alright, I gotta go get it now. It's weird how these things work, because it feels like it feels effortless how for a week I didn't give in, and now I don't feel like I might give in again, and give it 2-3 weeks and it'll be a thing of the past for the time being. Also, last Saturday I worked a double shift. So normally I work from 10 to 5, but my manager asked me to work later, to work the dinner service as well. And one thing I used to do when I worked the dinner service was drink on the job, and drink at the end with everyone. Once the service is finished, we drink and smoke. And this time, how do I say this? It's unbearable working from 10 o'clock in the morning to midnight. When you're used to it, it's easier. But doing it just one day in the week is difficult. I used to work that, every day. Or no, I don't remember, I think 4 days a week. And I was just used to it. It wasn't that big a deal. But once you're used to going to bed quite early, having this more reasonable routine, it's very difficult. So I thought to myself, that would be just the best way for me to give in, to drink, to smoke, to eat sugar for my energy. Someone gave me a can of Red Bull. There were donuts. Anyways, that was a good opportunity, but I didn't give in. I ate a donut or two, but I didn't drink, didn't smoke. And so the note I have here is, why am I so dissatisfied if I'm doing so many things right? And that's a question I keep asking myself. Because I am doing some things right. A lot of things. But I suppose it's the things that I'm doing wrong that hold me back. And the things that I'm doing right are not enough. So we're not going to act like I eliminated my sugar addiction. So we'll say it's, on the way out. The other main thing is mindless entertainment. And these are ways of escaping life. Mindless entertainment. This is the one that will be the hardest to get rid of. And I think there might be another one that is as powerful as the other ones. but it's entirely internal. The previous episode, I called it something about rabbits. Just about lack in focus. And that's another way I escape is by just working on a new project. And as stupid as that sounds, since last week I've started two new projects. Even though I have projects that are unfinished, projects that are getting started, projects that I need to finish that I needed to finish in the past because I'm late. And it's just another way of escaping, saying, oh, I'll start something new and not finish the previous one. I think at some point at the start of the year I said I'm trying to, what's the word? I know it in French, me remettre en question. In English it would be, I'm trying to question myself in terms of question what I believe to be true. Letting go of previous beliefs if they don't serve me. And so that applies to everything. There's this image of a graffiti on a wall somewhere and it says question everything, and then underneath it says why. It seems that all these quotes, these ideas, these powerful gems of wisdom summarized in one sentence, they all have they are all so obviously refutable. You can attack them so easily, it seems. Just like question everything and then you respond why. And that's like a chicken and the egg type of situation. How do you answer that? Why should you question everything? And then whatever the answer is, you need to question that too, which throws you in a loop. So am I asking myself why I should question everything? I don't think so. I think you can do away with the question why, just like you don't need to ask yourself why you're not floating off the earth right now. Why is gravity pulling you down? Why is the building not collapsing underneath me? You don't need to question everything. You need to know to question the right things, which does involve questioning the wrong things. But question you must. And I think that's what I'm doing with this podcast. This thing here, questioning. The question I'm asking is, I'm asking a few questions. I think one of them is, who am I? Because I watch the videos afterwards. And it's not difficult to be detached. I thought it would be, but it's not. It's not too difficult to look at it as if it's someone. Just look at it from an outsider's point of view and think, how do I feel about this person? So there's something very interesting about this exercise. Just like if you draw something, if you're an artist, or you sing something, and then you listen back to it, or you look at it, and you look at the flaws, and you wonder why it is how it is, and then of course how to make it better. So this whole exercise is a kind of chicken and the egg thing of me going in a loop. There were things that in the first few episodes I was very adamant about, not saying like, these, but they creep back in, and I'm not as diligent with pointing them out and moving past them. Eye contact also. Eye contact, important. So when I think, I can't help but look up when I think. If you look up on one side, you're thinking. If you look up on the other side, you're lying. I heard that somewhere. Is it true? I don't know. So, wait. I was going somewhere. Things I want to get out of this. So, yes, eye contact. Yes, pressure. So, in questioning everything, some things you're so used to about yourself or about the way you live your life or about your life that you don't question them, right? That's one of the ideas of question everything, is that you are so absorbed in your own life that if you don't take a step back, then you might keep making the same mistakes. Whoopsie. So that's one good thing about stepping back. Now, me being very self-conscious, stepping back and looking at myself from the outside is something I'm used to. But that's not enough. One, you need to do it with purpose, because feeling negative about yourself, or even positive, but in a kind of emotional way, that's what being self-conscious is. It's continuous throughout the whole day, and it's emotional. It's not, you're not analyzing, you're not, thinking. It's just emotion, I think. I never actually thought about this, but I think that's the problem, and that's why there's no growth involved. It's just a beating down of yourself repeatedly. Well, now I'm thinking, I'm looking down. Eye contact. So, stepping back in a more objective manner, and also knowing your flaws is not enough. Finding ways to rid yourself of them, that's important. And in order to grow, to improve, one needs to put themselves at the edge of discomfort, or the edge between what you know and where you're comfortable and the unknown. You can't really completely jump into the unknown. I mean, this is all just imagery, but just visualize. With what you know, you need to put one foot in the unknown first, and that's scary. So you need to be in an uncomfortable place in order to grow. Right? I think I quoted that someone said, a guest at some point at a restaurant, I overheard saying, if you're uncomfortable, it means you're growing. And yes, I like that idea. So, actually, I'm not terribly uncomfortable right now. So I need to find ways to make myself more uncomfortable in this scenario here. Right, I need to do that. I need to do an interview. That would be uncomfortable. I need to do an interview. Recently, I was analyzing the film Adaptation by Charlie Kaufman, and Nicolas Cage is playing him in the film. And he's in his early 40s, I think, and just the character. So it's a version of the screenwriter who wrote it. The main character is a version of the writer, and he's such a failed human in some ways, which sounds it sounds mean, horrible, and he's a very, very good screenwriter. He's an amazing filmmaker, Charlie Kaufman, right? I guess it's the same thing as Garry Kasparov, although it was more a minute thing with Garry Kasparov. But yeah, the character of Charlie Kaufman, he's this self-proclaimed, right? That's something you say, self-proclaimed. He's this self-proclaimed loser, fat, balding, sweaty loser. And it's just crazy to think you get to the age of 40 and you're so socially awkward and uncomfortable and scared of the world, and you're a recluse and you're depressed. That's horrible. But it's horrible, but it's easier also to do, right? You don't step out of your comfort zone. You don't go into the uncomfortable. Well, another quote. The riskiest thing to do in your life is to not take risks, right? I heard that one yesterday, I think. That's the type of moments where subtitles will be good on the screen. Big fucking subtitles. To emphasize, right? It would be funny if this... So yesterday I was watching videos of how different styles of YouTube personalities, and how some are, extreme on one side and some are extreme on the other side. And at some point they talk about the evolution of some YouTubers. And one, I think it's Mr. The Boss or something, Mr. Boss. And I've never seen his videos before, but his current videos are so crazy and over the top. And that's his style. But they weren't that at all at the start. I just think to myself, imagine in 5 years, I'm an actual YouTuber, that's my job. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. But imagine, I'm just doing these super energetic videos with subtitles everywhere and images and shit. I don't think that's the path laid out for me. But so yeah, uncomfortability, being uncomfortable. I need to find ways to make myself more uncomfortable. So this, not uncomfortable enough. An interview would be uncomfortable. Oh yeah, I know something. I know something uncomfortable. Let's see. So I haven't learned a poem this week. I'm learning a poem, but I don't like it too much, and I'm having a hard time. Well, I don't like it, therefore I'm not putting enough effort into learning it. That being said, what am I looking for? You know what? It's so uncomfortable that I'm definitely not ready to do it now. But how do I say this? Well, on top of me being a fan of hip-hop since I was a kid, I've always liked writing stories, but also writing lyrics. And it's one of those things, I feel like the bar is so low. It's weird to say, because it's not true. It's not entirely true. But I do feel like writing is something I'm good at and I understand. It's something that comes naturally to me. And the lighting, yeah. Is my head not in the shot? Whoopsie. Writing. And so I've written bars since well, since I could speak English. I remember at the start I thought I'll never be able to write lyrics in English because it's not my first language. And when I was trying, it was very difficult. But now I'm getting kind of fluent, so, and I have been for a few years, so I've been writing for a while. But just like script writing, I've never finished anything. It's quite insane to think about this. The fact that I've been writing lyrics since I was 12. That's half my life. 50%. And I've never finished anything, let alone try and perform it or show it to anyone. And then, and filmmaking, it's been, I'll say 6 years. Around 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. That's a quarter of my life. Nothing to show for it. I could basically just speak in quotes, but I think that's I said that one last week, didn't I? I think it's Abraham Lincoln. If I had 6 hours to cut down a tree, I would use I would use 5 hours. Wow, stumbling. I would use 5 hours to sharpen my axe. So that's what I've been doing, right? 12 years of sharpening my axe, 6 years of sharpening my tools. In the very last day at school, secondary school, they gave us a kind of speech. Wow. They gave us a speech and they talked about bamboos and how bamboos, you water them for a long time and they don't grow, and then all of a sudden, I don't know the science of bamboos, but very quickly, all of a sudden they start to grow. After a year or two, I might be off. And they said that's what was happening when we left school. That they had been watering us and we were growing slowly, but now a big jump was about to happen, right? Same principle to a degree. And that's what I need to do right now. I should try and cut down that tree now. And that's the title for the episode. Cutting the tree down. No, that's not a good title. That's not a good title. Cutting the tree down. This is like a therapy session as well, right? Pretty much. Isn't that what you do in therapy? Just talk about your life. I suppose you'd be expected to talk about more profound and personal things. But then I just speak and then I watch the video and I'm my own therapist. Isn't that perfect? It's free. It's free. So, being more energetic when I speak, that's something I'm not comfortable with. And I would say it seems impossible, and it seems like it's not me. But I know that's not true. It's just a question of practice. But how the fuck does it work? How does it work? Because when it's done well, it's extremely effective, enthusiastic, passionate, almost aggressive, right? That's how it's not aggressive, but it's almost getting there. So when I say that, I'm thinking of people I work with. I'm thinking of people who are famous. In fact, I don't think that's me, but I want to understand it. It's weird how I have this desire to act. I do. I had a dream recently why someone told me I was a good actor, which, might be, is another one I don't like, don't use, which might be a sign from my subconscious that that's something I need to pursue. Acting. Why is acting so uncomfortable? For me, because some people it's natural. We'll have our things. Why is acting so uncomfortable? Why? It's curious. Why? A colleague of mine is an actor. How does it work, shut the fuck up with, how does it work? Yeah, if I look at someone, they're just a person who happens to be an actor, and then they act. What's happening? How are they doing that? Because it's not like, I don't know, it's not obvious what you have to do to get there. That's the thing. It's not obvious. You look at someone doing a what do you call them? A muscle up, and you think, wow, that's really difficult. Well, here's what you do. You do pull-ups first. You just learn to do your pull-ups. I don't know. You do a bunch of exercises to strengthen your body, and then you get there. But with acting, in a weird way, it seems like you should be able to just do it. Not necessarily well. Well, I mean, that's the thing. You are able to do it, not as well as someone who's a professional, but it's not like doing a muscle up. Because a muscle up, if your body is not capable of it, you can't do it. It's impossible. But acting is not the same, because you can just act. Right? This makes no sense. But I think I have a few things like that. Things that I am drawn to. And it's not like, for example, sugar that I'm drawn to. Things that I'm drawn to in a different way. That I don't know how to describe it, but things that I'm drawn to that I refuse for myself for some reason. I block myself from taking those things. It's a curious thing. Self-sabotage. Being yourself. The greatest achievement. Discomfort, growth, being yourself. Right, let's think about this. Here I am, 24. I need to grow. I need to evolve. Some things I do wrong repeatedly. So, next to my bed I have this thing. This thing here. Oopsie. And before going to bed at night now, I write a list of what I have to do the following day. Well, I need to cross something out already because I forgot to cross out. That's done. That's done. That's done. That's done. That's not done. Right, that's something. That's supposed to help because you go to bed thinking about these things, and I think it's Matthew McConaughey who talks about this. Oh, just make a list. Just make a list of everything. I can't do the accent at all, but just make a list of everything you have to do the next day. Just the feeling of crossing them out is it's so fulfilling. And then and Chris D'Elia mocks him for that. And yeah, I don't think it's fulfilling, in fact. But it helps you remember what's left. So my routine in the morning for the past 2 years, or for the past year and a half, first thing I do when I wake up is meditate. So that's the first thing on the list. Now that I work from 10 to 5, I meditate in the evening as well. I meditate, so I have meditate twice. Drink water, brush your teeth, blah 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 blah. And I think these might just be useless, writing these down. But so every day I wake up and the first thing I do is I meditate, I stretch. Recently I started working out, I brush my teeth, blah blah blah. And then there's also read and write on the list. I've been very inconsistent with these. And there's also my supplements that I'm taking because I'm trying to gain weight. So these have to be crossed out. So I think having I'm pretty sure, I'm almost certain that having a routine, going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time is healthy, right? So that's good. That's something I'm doing. I'm trying to do the belly dance, but I don't think I can. That's good. Now, deleting YouTube would be a step forward. But it's not that, right? Because if I don't have YouTube, I can still find a way out of my project by starting new projects. Running away from these things. That's really the main puzzle. Maybe it's not about the ways I distract myself, the specific ways. Maybe it's not about that, because I don't feel better since I've stopped eating sugar. I don't really feel better. Now when I eat sugar, it hits me like a truck. I can't eat much sugar now. My tolerance has decreased, obviously. And when I do eat sugar, I get a headache. Right, so that's not good. But I don't feel generally better during the day. Right, I just don't feel bad because I don't need the sugar. It's weird how once you get out of a negative cycle, once I get out of a negative cycle, it's like I have no appreciation of how my life is better now. It seems like I should. When I got hit by a car in December, I genuinely felt for a moment like I was about to die. I genuinely felt just a sense of relief of knowing this is out of my control, and voila. And supposedly that type of experience changes you. And it wasn't the most dramatic car accident. I probably felt this way because I dramatize things. Maybe someone looking at the situation wouldn't at all have seen it the way I saw it. But I got hit by a car, it lifted me up, sent me flying. And as I was rolling on the ground, I felt like the car was still moving. And I couldn't control my body, and I thought the car was going to run me over. And that happened very quickly. But I felt a strong sense of relief. Like I knew, oh, fine, whatever, goodbye. And I don't feel like it's changed me in the least. I'm more careful when I cross that specific crossing. That's about it. I'm not even careful when I cross the street, actually. So it hasn't changed me. Why? Why? Am I destined to be like Walter White, to go through my life dissatisfied, and then at some point just go crazy? So I'm definitely on a plateau, just like with chess. With chess, I've hit a plateau. I play unfocused. I make the same mistakes. It's all the same. There's some small specific tweaks to be made. Just progressive overload. Slow increments, slowly but surely, improving your... Actually, just like playing chess. Just make a move that won't worsen your position. If you don't know, don't make a big move. If you don't have one, just slowly improve your position. Slowly but surely. Don't go for the big move that might fuck you over in the long run. Slowly but surely. Improve your position. Focus. So yeah, eliminating the symptoms is what I'm doing. What the fuck is happening at the source? What's happening? Why? What the fuck? It feels good to say this out loud. What the fuck is happening, Abraham? What's happening? Why? Why? It's like... Stop saying it's like... When you have... What can it be compared to? It's like this boundless well of ideas and energy. But it's chaos. It's just chaos. There's no way to pull them out from this chaos into the real world. They're just floating in this chaos, and they can't be plucked out. They're just floating there. Just floating there. There's potential. Chaos is order yet undeciphered. Why the chaos? Why can't I decipher myself? Why the confusion? Why all this confusion? Chaos, that's a good word. Chaos is order yet undeciphered. I guess you never really decipher yourself. Or maybe some people do. Oh, wait, fuck. But I need to do that. I need to work on solving this puzzle. But I'm going about it wrong, obviously, because it's not working out. Saying things out loud, thinking out loud, it helps in a weird way. Things flow out naturally. There is a problem. What is it? What is the source of all these? I suppose I can look around. You can't see my room. Well, you can't really see. You can see two walls, but there's lots of images on the walls. Photos, posters, mostly photos I've taken, and mostly posters I've made. And so that's my creative output. And that's all I am, really. My creative output. That's all that matters. That's all I've ever been. That's all I care about. And I understand that it's not even a question of successful, great, critically acclaimed work. It's just a question of making it and releasing it, getting rid of it. Because in some ways, these ideas, they are like poison. If I just keep them, they rot inside. The ideas themselves, they lose their life and they consume me in a way. Because if I have an idea I like, so I have ideas for stories, films, stories in general. I have ideas that I've been thinking about and visualizing and developing since I was around 13, 14. And I have a lot, and it's like your desktop on your laptop. At some point you have to clean it up. You have to get rid of stuff or move stuff to somewhere else. If you keep adding on top of it just information in your laptop, data and data and data, it's gonna start slowing down the computer. And if your desktop looks anything like mine, it's going to scare people because you can't even see the background at this point. Hey, get back to how you were, please. So, yes, so it's the same with ideas. Now, unfortunately, I don't have an external hard drive for my brain. That would be that would be amazing. That's an interesting idea. All these ideas, just plug them out, put them somewhere else where they don't take any space in my mind. That way I just have the ideas that I'm currently working on. That would be fucking brilliant. Huh. Or, yeah. Someone needs to work on that. But at the moment I need to work on that in my own head. But so the other solution is to do them and get them out. Do them and get them out. Because in that regard, so me thinking of ways to make myself uncomfortable, multiple ways, is good for growth. But there's a flaw in my program, and the source of it, deep underneath layers and layers of shit, there's the flaw that is holding me back. And that's by fixing the exterior. I'm not gonna address that flaw. Like, something you hear a lot is there's no place where you'll find more great ideas than in cemeteries, or something like that. The idea that everyone dies with ideas, great ideas, a lot of people, good ideas, mostly bad ideas. But most people, they never share these, or they never get to create them, make them come to life, and see whether they're good or bad. This idea that everyone who dies with a wealth of ideas, and probably a lot of people, some good ones, because so many people die every day. And so that's scary, the idea of dying without accomplishing these ideas. The idea of, I'm saying idea a lot, the idea of never expressing yourself. So there's a flaw in my program somewhere deep inside. Something needs to be addressed. How do I get out of this vicious cycle of non-productivity? So once again, I look around, and so there's a bunch of posters that I made. I started this project making one poster every day for 365 days a year. I only lasted 150, maybe, probably less. I think somewhere around that, 150. Then I stopped because they were becoming just atrocious. But I've printed some of them. They are around the room. Some of them that I like. And that's a body of work of at least 23. Yeah, I've printed in small to keep in a notebook. Here. I've printed 23 posters. What the fuck? Okay. So I printed 23 posters in this little, and glued them in this little thing here. Don't let it smell. And like this one is just above the mirror. And where's the other one that I like? Well, whatever. I'll put this back. But so that's, I don't even know how to say it. Like this little thing here is so incredibly valuable to me. It's so precious. I love it so much. Because I don't even know how to say it. Yeah, this one is right there. But so I used to film musical events. I still do sometimes for friends or friends of friends, film musical events. And I don't want to be a cameraman. I don't want to film live music performances necessarily, unless there's a creative angle, but just people performing on a stage. And so I would think to myself, this is them being their true self, right? I might have said this before in an episode, but anyways, this is an opportunity for them to express themselves fully, to be themselves fully, performing music. I don't think you can do that, for example, with a film. It's not the same, right? Because with music, you are actually performing it live. It must be amazing. Anyways. But so this is them celebrating. This is us in a room, filling up the room and appreciating the music. This is us celebrating them being themselves, being their true self, expressing themselves. And that's amazing. And I thought to myself, that's what an artist does. And sure, it's different if you show a movie, if you show something else. It's different, not necessarily better or worse. But I thought to myself, I don't do that. I'm not doing that at any point. I haven't structured my life in such a way that I get to do that, which is crazy because that's being an artist. Sharing is part of the process of creation, and so it's part of the life of an artist. But I don't share my work. I don't really make work at the moment. I don't finish anything. So I'm not making stuff, I'm not sharing stuff. What the fuck? This is so crazy. Yeah. It looks good, but I need to hang onto my shorts. That's a note. Don't know what it means. So yeah, as a visual artist, you can show your work online, which is not fulfilling at all. Well, unless you can show your work in real life. I'd love to have an exhibition one day. Of course, I need to actually get good first. But that's the point, I guess. To share your work in a physical way. One day I'll print a photo book. That would be amazing too. I love children's illustrated books. I'd love to make some of those. I've made one, sort of. It's on my website. I need to do that more. But the problem is, once the work is done, like that thing, it's called Firestarter, children's book in black and white. I'm finished it a while ago, and I don't feel like working on it and refining it and getting it printed because it was done so long ago. But so when I was making a poster every day, I was very productive, creatively, and that was very, very fulfilling. So it was good in the moment, although it was sometimes quite stressful because it had to be done every day and it took time. But in the moment, nonetheless, I realized I say nonetheless a lot in the previous episode. I really want to say nonetheless now. Nonetheless. Oh. So in the moment, it was fulfilling because as an artist, creating art is one of the most fulfilling things, even though it could be stressful. And now, in hindsight, I don't give a shit how I felt because I have a body of work to a degree, stuff that I can look at, and that feels good as well. So, making things regularly, making things often, quickly, speed. So that's... So that worked in the past. Surely I can use a similar method. I'm thinking about it now. When's the last time I completed something? I completed something. A project. I don't know. Well, actually a music video, great, a few weeks ago. Don't know where that's going, but... yeah, I need to structure my life in such a way that I am giving myself deadlines, I am finishing things regularly. Some short-term projects, some long-term projects. I need structure. Maybe that's the solution, structure. I remember when I started wanting to write films, I tried to just write a screenplay, like a 90-page screenplay. I started on with the first line, writing, and I got to 34, 45 or something, and I thought, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do next. And it seems so magical, the idea of knowing how to write a screenplay, knowing how to write a screenplay. Then I looked into it and realized it's one way of approaching it. So you will use a structure, but there is an approach to structure that will get you the most classical film structure. There is a structure that's ubiquitous. I like that word, ubiquitous, to successful films. There are many guidelines. And so I started learning this, and that was very cool to see that it's not just magic, that there is an approach, there is a structure involved. Even people who break the structure, as they say, you need to learn the rules before you break the rules. And so through learning, I became more comfortable with writing a script, yet here I am. There's still no script finished. That still boggles my mind. Still no script finished. It's all about small steps in the right direction, right? Making small steps in the right direction. It's easy to get complacent once, or to reach a plateau. That's just, it's funny how these things work. That's just life. You have an obstacle, and if you look at an obstacle if you look at yourself as being on a very big staircase, and every obstacle is the next step, and each step is taller than you. So when you reach a plateau, you're just on a step, and you walk back and forth. And one day you try to climb the step, the obstacle, you fail, you go back to walking back and forth on the step where you are. Then eventually you climb it. You scrape your hands, it hurts. It hurts everywhere, it's painful, but you get there. And what are you faced with? Just the next step. And naturally what you do is you start walking back and forth on this step, because there's no difficulty to walking back and forth on this flat surface. You just walk back and forth. You're on the next step now. So you've improved. You're not on the previous step anymore. But this step looks exactly like the previous step, doesn't it? It's exactly the same. Yo. What are you talking about? I just ate 4 eggs. I can't eat eggs again. I'll die from egg overdose.
Yeah, well, I don't know what she's gonna eat, because la salade elle est minuscule parce que j'avais pas confié pour faire une salade avec.
Y'a quoi comme protéine? Y'a rien?
Du poisson.
Bah tu fais du poisson.
Hein?
Bah tu fais du poisson.
I just said that's fish as well. Mais ça va suffire.
Ah, j'ai pas entendu.
À moitié de salade qui est à peine pour assiette pour vous deux.
Et y'a pas des restes de riz, des trucs comme ça?
Ouais, t'as vu, un peu de riz d'Aïwan quoi. Mais au pire, je peux juste faire de la sauce si t'en veux pas.
Je peux faire quoi?
Je peux juste faire de la sauce.
Ouais, moi je veux bien mes saumons. Tu sais, ils sont dans le frigo.
Ouais, j'ai déjà fait.
Cool.
Et au pire, tu peux manger du riz si tu veux d'Aïwan. Ah ouais, je te rends parce que.
Ok.
Ça va juste, je fais le riz d'Aïwan alors.
Ok. Where was I? Oh yeah, I was in my nihilistic rant. So yeah. And that's just how life works. And it's unacceptable to walk back and forth on the same step. I'm repeating myself a lot in these. Well, what can I do? But the point of success, what does success mean? Zabit Nurmagomedov Sharipov. Most people will have no clue who I'm talking about, and I'm probably butchering his name, so you won't be able to look him up. But he's asked, what does it mean to be successful? He's very successful in his field, very good at what he does. And he answers, well, what does he answer? What does it mean to be successful to you? To be successful means it's not even funny. I don't remember what he says. Huh. I mean, it's one of a few cliche answers, but la. I don't remember. No, I'll never find it. It's impossible. Well, I think I found it. Where is he? Yes. So, ask him the question. Well, it was surprisingly easy to find, but I didn't find it. Oh! Oh. Shit, that's what you might call a cryptic answer. Because obviously he's been asked. What's he being asked? The question is, what is the secret of success? And the question is, what is the secret to success? Which is, the interviewer is asking him about the success he's having in his field, specifically. How's he successful in that field? And he answers, it is when you understand the meaning of life. So, the answer being, if you understand the meaning of life, you'll immediately be successful regardless of what position you are in. Right? There's this timeless idea that if you live in the present and you accept your condition, you won't suffer. Letting go, once again. If you can let go, then you'll be free from suffering. The secret to success is understanding the meaning of life. Yo!
Can you put a table, please?
No, ask Susu.
Ask Solomon, you told me to ask you.
Well, I'm busy. Tell him I'm busy doing something very important. I hope that works. It's when you understand the meaning of life. How does one do that? T'as vu, je suis en train de me compter quelque chose, donc je suis occupé, c'est très important.
Apparemment, Abou, il est en train de me raconter quelque chose.
Well, I guess I have to set the table now. To understand the meaning of life. Maybe the meaning of life is, well, I'll ask someone. I like this question because it's not really a question, is it? Let's see. What is the meaning of life? It's such a dumb question. It's funny how dumb it is. It's funny how stupid it is. It's such nonsense. What is the meaning of life? The meaning of life is a life with a meaning. The meaning of life is finding your purpose. The meaning of life is to let go. The meaning of life is to create a true thing. the meaning of life? You have to ask yourself these questions when every morning you go to work at the same job, something you're not passionate about, something you'd rather not do. You have to ask yourself these questions when it's been a year and a half now. A year and a half of your life, you've been doing something you don't want to do. People go decades in that situation. People go through decades of this. People die, and that was their reality. You have to ask yourself these questions, even if you have no answers, even if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, even if you're just... Where is this plugged in? Even if you're just completely lost. Life is just a paradox. I'm so lost, and yet I feel so certain feel so certain about who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing. Yet I'm so lost. And I look at people who seem, and everyone says that they're lost, even people who seem to know what they're doing. They're just productive. They're lost in a productive way. That's the least I could do for myself. Be lost in a productive way. Be confused and lost and clueless, but in a productive way. That's the least I could do. Yeah, I think I'd set up the table. Alright. That's it for today. Thank you. And take care. This sounds sad. I think maybe I come off as a sad person. I sound sad. Right? When I'm just chill. Why do I speak in this way, like I'm so chill and relaxed? People always tell me that I seem to be so relaxed. And I'm not. I'm quite relaxed now. But I always speak like that. Always, always, always. That's always how I come off. Relaxed, chill. Oh. But I'm not, usually. But people think that, oh, you have such a relaxing voice. Oh, you seem to be so relaxed. So chill. The mysteries of the universe.